Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of history.
There's a lot.
Okay, start with your name.
All right. I'm the Nana. Okay. That's what they call me, the kids. I've got 17 great babies. Yeah, 17 great. My name is Amelia. That's what I was named after Amelia Earhart.
But you started going
Luda.
to church when it was at the school.
That's where it said
In
to go to
Poland.
the school in Poland.
Go to the school in Poland.
That's where I went. Yes, we got there. Boy, they started using me. And
Well, what did you tell me? You were telling me last night that the first nursery that they had was in the boiler room
Yeah, in the
Of the
furnace room.
school.
The furnace room it was. Yeah,
of the school.
I was a babysitter in the furnace room, and then from there, I got too many of them. And I thought, oh, I need help.
They brought her all the babies. She loved
Yeah.
all the babies.
Oh, that's why I'm so attached to babies today.
Then
Please, I said.
Then when they built the church, I remember the nursery when I worked in it was somewhere around the kitchen.
It was behind the kitchen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
It
the
was behind
nursery.
the
Yeah, it was
kitchen.
just a little room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was
for
part of the
babies.
kitchen. Well, they're using that for today. Yeah, they expanded it, but it was. I was in the nursery, so I thought
Yeah,
they knew.
Because where it is, well, what's there now is the youth concession stand. That was the nursery.
The youth concession
Yeah.
stand.
Mm-hmm.
Where's their
Now,
concession
Behind the
stand?
kitchen.
Where Luke and Noah are at right now. That was the
That was the
sanctuary.
old sanctuary, yeah. Sitting here, there's 3. There's 4 though, including my children. So there's Grandma and Grandpa, where it all started. My mom, and then me, and then my 2 boys.
It was before '84.
You were saved in what year?
Grant and Arlene Sloan took us there to Highway.
What year were you saved?
Oh, jeez.
If Jeff came home in 83 with that Bible still. Was it 83? It must have been 83.
When I got saved,
Mhm.
and Jim, your dad, Grandpa,
Yeah, 1983.
Yeah,
And then you
had
were
to be.
baptized in the same year?
Yep.
Yeah. And then the church was built in 84. You were baptized here in New Life in the old sanctuary with the
In the
portable
tank.
in the portable baptismal tank. And that was what year was that? 88?
We didn't get the grandkids. Jessica,
Yes,
I mean,
that was in
1231
1988.
88. Yeah.
Carrie, and Melanie both got baptized here.
Yeah. Yeah. My
Uh-huh.
cousins, Carrie and Melanie, they were both baptized. Same
Yeah.
portable tank.
Portable tank. Yeah.
And then I was baptized here in 2020. Was it 2020?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, 2020. Yep. I mean, she's seen more of the change than I have, but from when I was little to now, there really wasn't a whole lot of, like, when I was growing up, of course, we had kids' church and everything, and there really wasn't much of, like, a transition from kids' church to the adult service. It was kind of like there was a gray area there. They did have, some things on Wednesday nights, but there's no, like, youth group. There was no YA like we have, like, in that generation that really needed that guidance of where to go. So that's kind of like when I got to the teenage years, I stepped back from the whole religion thing, just because I was so confused. I had no idea which direction to go. I mean, growing up, we would stay at Grandma's house every Saturday night. It was all the grandkids. We stayed at Grandma's house. Grandma toted us all to church on Sunday, and then after service on Sunday, we'd go back to her house, and it was Sunday family dinner. That's what we did every Sunday. And it's kind of like we got away from all of that and everything when everybody got into their teens and late or early 20s, and then everybody started getting married, having their own families. So it's kind of different to see how things have evolved, and I like that there are things for that generation now that need the guidance, that are really struggling, that need, the push of which direction is my life going, and I really wish I would have had that. I kind of, like I said, got away from the whole church aspect of things in my teens and 20s, and I wish I would have had that that kind of guidance, because I think I would have still been here, and came back in my late 20s and then went away from the church again for a few years, and then I had kids of my own, and I remembered everything from when I was little and how I wanted that for them, and I want them to grow up the way I grew up, knowing God, knowing I had a purpose in life. There was direction for me, that He was there no matter what. Didn't matter if I had friends, if I didn't have friends, you know, that He was there. He was with me all the time. And what actually brought me and you back was, I'm going to do this without crying, was when my grandpa had an accident, and it was Father's Day of 2019, and I distinctly remember we started a phone chain. Well, not a phone chain, but we started like a group call with my uncle in Arizona. He started it, and we would get on when my grandpa was in the hospital. We would get on the call multiple times a day to update everyone, like how his condition was, what happened that day at the hospital, and we would just pray. We would pray over him, for our family. Just anything that we needed prayer for. We were all in a corporate setting to have prayer for each other and be there for each other as a family, which like a lot of us, we're all spread out. There's North Carolina, there was Georgia, there's Arizona,
Cleveland,
us here in Ohio, but we were all spread out in Ohio. So this kind of brought everyone to a center point where we were able to connect with each other and connect with God. And so we would do that every day. We were on the call multiple times a day when he was in the hospital. And they're still doing it. How many nights a week do you do it? 5 nights a week?
what?
Your prayer call.
Monday through Saturday.
Every night.
Every night?
Every night. Every morning is Bible study, and every night is
your prayer call. Yeah.
Prayer call.
And we pop in and out when we can as family and stuff, because, you know, everybody's busy. But
so
when
what happened there was God took what happened to Grandpa, tragic as it was. He took that and brought us all together.
Yeah, brought us all together.
So where we were so close.
I distinctly remember the one call that we had, and being out of church for so long and everything. I just felt there was a small voice telling me, you need to go sit in his seat at church. Sit where he sits at church. And I kept thinking to myself, okay. And I stewed on it for days and days. And I got on, when we were on the prayer call the one night, I said, something keeps telling me, go sit in his seat at church. So my Aunt Pam, she speaks up and she says, well, that's God telling you you need to stand in the gap for your grandpa. At the time, I'm like, okay, what does this mean? Because, like, what is the gap? So she explained everything to me about standing in the gap for him, and we came to church that Sunday. We were prayed over. I sat in his seat. I sat in his seat for months. And after he had passed away, now looking back at things and realizing that even though he's not here, his legacy is living on through us, and he's brought us closer together as a family. It's kind of surreal. It's surreal. So to think that
I can still feel him at church.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But like all these years of us being ministered to by you and Grandpa, and then you and Dad, and me with my kids now, and like you and Grandpa would minister to my kids. I remember when I was pregnant with Luke, telling you that I was pregnant with him, and I bought a little book, and it was all prayers and nursery rhymes and stuff, and I put inside of it, I wish I would have brought it with me so I could say exactly what it had in it, but about how I couldn't wait for you to tell me all about Jesus, and like those things stuck with me. Even though I wasn't in the church, I knew I wasn't alone. All through my teens, my 20s, I knew I wasn't alone because you and Grandpa had instilled that in us, and you and Dad had instilled that in us, that no matter how far we were from church or wherever, God was still with us. He was still listening. He was still there. He's not going to leave us.
No.
So, and I think that's probably the only way I got through my teens and 20s was knowing that I wasn't alone.
Well, but this has happened before you were born. No, not before. After you were born, and you were able to get around with the other kids, the little ones. I used to all get you in the back bedroom. You don't remember that? And I'd teach them how to sing "Jesus Loves Me."
Oh, I do remember that. Because the carpet was blue in the bedroom. I do remember that. Yep. Oh, yeah.
And we still, as old as everybody is, we still sing "Happy Birthday" to Jesus and get a birthday cake.
Yep.
Every year.
Yep. I made a birthday cake with the candles and everything. And all the kids stood around the table and we sang.
We have multiple pictures of the cakes.
Yes.
Yeah. What I can feel more than what I see, that Jesus has already accepted them before they even asked Jesus to come into their heart. It'll always be new life to me. It's where Jesus is. I feel so close when I'm there. Like Sunday, I had the presence of the Lord all over my whole body. I thought I was going to fall down, but I didn't. I just held on to the bench in front of me. And that's where I get more feeling from Jesus when I'm there.
I can see how my parents changed totally. I mean, I didn't grow up with the Lord in my life at all. And my mom and dad, once they accepted the Lord, it was like, oh my gosh, this is two totally different people. So I seen what that did to them. And then it was 2-3 years after that, I was saved. And then when I had my kids, it was like, I have to get them to church. And even though they didn't stay in church the whole time when you were little, it was still instilled in them. And you've seen what it was like here at church. And it feels like home here. It feels like home. Everybody's so warm and everybody welcomes you and hugs and you can feel the presence of the Lord. And on Sunday, the Holy Spirit is in that sanctuary so thick.
Yes.
It's just like, I don't want to leave.
Yeah, that's with me too.
It's home. It's home. That's the only way to explain it. And to bring my kids into a place where I'm comfortable and everyone is there, everyone's very welcoming, and there's just so much love. There's just so much love. There's no other place like it. And to know that my kids feel comfortable, and they're warm with everyone here, and like Luke's always been shy, and for him to just pop out and want to go to kids' church, and I'm watching him blossom and him say prayers for people, and to pray over dinner when there's a huge crowd of people in the room, even though they're all family, and he says, I'll do it. It's just...
He would never have done that before.
Oh, no, he would have never done that. But like you said, from the time he was born, you knew there was something
special about Luke.
Something special about Luke. And I'm starting to see it and feel it with how he is with his walk with Christ, and it's home.
And you know, when Pastor Dave and Liz came to our church, the day that we were well, the whole congregation was there, but we were seeing, asking them different questions and everything. And it just came over me when I was sitting there. I was sitting in the front row, and I looked at Liz, and I said, "That's it. Those are the ones." Just the words come out of their mouth. The Lord just showed me.
Well, I felt like that
Those
too.
are the ones.
I felt like that too when I met him at
And I
the
hope they stay
hospital.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I
Or
met him
if
at the
they don't,
hospital.
I'm going to go with them.
She's moving. She's moving.
I'm serious. Yes.
Well, I felt like that. I felt like that about. I had never met Pastor Dave before, and when I went to the hospital that day, that Grandpa was in there and he had surgery, and I walked into the ICU and he was standing there and he introduced himself, and I felt
stayed
like
there with
I've
me.
known him forever.
He stayed
Like
there.
he just, there was something about him. Like I felt like I've known him forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So